one too. Oh man, here, hold that. Hold that in case I need it. Yeah. Tell you what, I was watching that Lisa Heaven show. She talking about all these things that's gonna happen because it's the end times. I don't know, man. These people got thousands of subscribers. Well, I mean thousands of subscribers. Oh yeah. And they all read the Bible. You know what I mean? They all read the Bible. Whoa. Oh, I just opened the First Kings. Speaking of kings, you're talking about me, were you? First Kings has a prime example of what's going on in society today. Later, man. Later. It's not your turn, all right? First Kings. Where should we go? But anyway, to the Lisa Heaven, big channel. All these catastrophes coming and everything. It's God's will. And you talked about the pigs having Ebola, causing Ebola and different diseases, and even reaching to southern Australia and stuff. I'm probably going to get in trouble for saying these things about a big shot channel. And but this is all a sign of the Lord's coming. Do you know how many of these one-eyed farmers have been telling you this for centuries? Especially since they had the Bible put together in only the last few hundred years. I won't even get into that. Do you people think all these people in the past knew exactly what to do and they just were disobeying God? You think they all had a Bible tucked under their arm when they walked around doing their crops and animals and their blood sacrifices? Do you think they all had a Bible tucked under their arm? No, most of them didn't even have any scriptures. They did what they were told by the one-eyed farmers. The leaders, the controllers, the people in charge, they were told when to go to Sunday school or to the blood sprinkling sacrifices. Did you know what blood sprinkling is? It's not the pretty garden sprinkling. You know, to be blood sprinkling, that wouldn't be good either. They'd really mess up your clothes, and they had to leave it on there for like 3 days too. I forget. But you had to take your family to could you imagine that Sunday school? You're going to the blood sprinkling, blood sacrifice service. Did you know? And I did. You can look back and verify this. I'm not doing it all again here. The priest laid all the animal parts in the head on a certain angle of the altar of a particular size, facing east, facing west. Did you know when they blood sprinkled, they shook blood? The priest had a bowl. He dipped it and shook blood on the altar. As the sacrifices burned, it made smoke, and it burned. There were oil biscuits on there, oil meant to burn and catch fire and flame and all kinds of stuff. It was like a big fireworks, a bloody fireworks session. You can look it up for yourself. You can go back and look at my blood sprinkling video. But when the priest got down to a half a bowl, the rest of that bowl, instead of shaking on the altar, by the way, I described a stick. They use a piece of stick or lamb's wool or tied to the end. They dip it in the bowl and shake the blood. The rest of the half of the bowl was shaken on the very people. The people going to the church, to the blood sacrifice. It was shaken on the people. Could you imagine you're in church and your pastor, your priest is going to take a bowl of blood that he already shook on dead animals. There's a head of an animal that's placed in the part of the altar. Now he's going to take all that blood he's been shaking on, and he's going to shake it on you and your whole family. Oh, I know what you're saying already. God requires blood because it's the essence of everything and whatever. It's pointing to Jesus. Who said that? Who said that? Read your way back. What God of the cosmos, your loving creator, said that after the Adam and Eve story, if you read it properly, where did it say, okay, you need to kill stuff for me now for not being perfect? Your parents ate the fruit from the knowledge of good and evil. You need to kill and burn animals for me. Who said that? Oh, we're right here. David builds an altar. Go up and build an altar. On that day, Gad. Oh, by the way, there's a book that's supposed to be in the Bible called Gad the Seer. Nathan the prophet was supposed to be in the Bible, according to the very king that mentioned go and see. Isn't it in the book of Nathan the prophet? No, it's not there. Did God forget it? Or did man leave it out? Remember, this is supposed to be the word, inerrant word of God. And there's about 12 or 13 of those books, maybe a few more. Let's look. Wow. Why don't you read this for yourself, please? Please stop going to church so much. Read this. Somebody told me the Bible is a treasure chest of God's love for us. It's a treasure chest. I said, do you read it? No, more than I should. It's a treasure. Well, why? He says, that's a good question. This is what somebody at work told me. I remember him very well, and we talked a lot, but he didn't like me because I started to not believe certain things. He told me red flags came up when I said something. Red flags came up. But in the meantime, he wouldn't read the book that he considered a treasure chest. What's it say here? What's it say here? You're not paying attention. You're falling asleep, aren't you? That's okay. That's okay. I won't sprinkle you with blood. I won't sprinkle you with blood. Just do as I command, Jesus. Jesus said, those that love me will keep my commandments. Keep my commandments. Paul is a total different character. Paul, the so-called apostle, as far as I'm concerned, he's the first Benny Hinn of written Christianity. Yeah. Oh, that's a strike right there. Well, you're being struck down, let me tell you. You're being struck down by the one-eyed farmers because you're not even using your own book right. You see, as you can read in my description what I was for 40 plus years. An Eighth-day Independent Fundamental Baptist, evangelism explosion, door-knocking, soul-winning Christian, 40 plus years. And I escaped the big fish about 10 years ago before it completely digested me with my own shame. Does that mean, see, the shame has you, because all of it has your mind tricked now. It makes you think, he has no conscience. I have more conscience now than I ever had when I was a Christian. Because it doesn't go away. What you develop of what you believe to be the good way to be, or the continuous way to be, consistent. That behavior, if you wish this to be, will continue just as the Jesus in the Bible said. Because it's universal talk mixed with doctrines. This is basic universal speaking as in any other book. It's psychology. And it sucks into your emotions and you fall for it. You swallow it all. You swallow it all. Jesus said you have the desires of your heart. That's humanly true. The more people put into what they do, they get those kind of results. Now, it doesn't mean that an outside force couldn't come by and I could get hit by something driving by, a bus, or a one-eyed farmer tractor could come by and kill me. It doesn't mean that, though. Keep that up. Maybe a one-eyed farmer tractor could come by and kill you. That's right. Get that. Heck out of here, man. What was I saying? Oh, First King. Here we go. David counts the fighting men. 2 Samuel 24. Again, the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he, God, incited David against them, saying, "Go and take a census, David, of Israel and Judah." God incited David against them, saying, burn against Israel. And he incited David against them, saying, "Go and take a census of Israel and Judah." So the king said to Joab and the army commanders with him, "Go throughout the tribes of Israel. Go into the towns here in the cities, to Dan and Beersheba, and enroll the fighting men, so that I may know how many there are." He wants to know. This is what kings and captains and fighters do. They want to know how many guys they have. Check it out. What's it say here? Whoa, I wrote a note here. 1 Chronicles 21 says, Satan incited. Whoa. Satan incited it? It says God incited it here. You see, this was a change in history, folks, that you might not be aware of. A lot of people wondered why it was God and then it was Satan. Because the one-eyed farmer's scripts have to be changed to keep your mind. And by keeping their mind, it keeps you in the one-eyed farmer prison cell, the one-eyed prison cell, carrot on a stick and a dinner bell. Let's see. So we have the 2 Chronicles. It's been a long time since 2 Chronicles. Let's see. 2 Chronicles. Oh, dang. I just lost my place. I just lost it. Satan made me lose my place. Satan made me lose my... Never mind, it's taking too long here. And I got it. 2 Chronicles. I know some of you Christians should have this. 1 Chronicles 21. 1 Chronicles 21. Let's see if I can get this in time. Oh, here it is. Satan incited. With the same story, but it's two different ways. Now, which one are you going to believe? And you have to decide, well, what's it mean by Satan? Satan rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census. Let's show them the up-close version here. Show them the up-close version. I'm going to need you to hold this for me. Here, turn it around. You got the version right there. Huh? Sure what it says, Sidewinder. Oh, man. Check it out. It says here, as you can see, I mark up my books too. Satan incited. Satan rose up, and Israel incited. See it? Satan rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census of Israel. Count the Israelites, Beersheba and Dan, then report back to me, Sam. I know. Same thing. Who's telling the truth? Who wrote this book? I don't understand this. The one-eyed farmers must have wrote it. Exactly. That's sorry now. Keep me out of this, Sidewinder. You too. I had nothing to do with this. Exactly. I mean, so as you can see, we are studying truth of the scriptures. Right there. Turn to the next page. I think that's enough for today for you to absorb. But you can feel free to look back at Uncle Jesus' videos and see the blood sprinkling. A really good one I recommend is an earlier one called How to Rid Yourself of the Fear of Numbers and Word Spells. The number 6, How to Rid Yourself of the Fear of number 666. Don't have to be afraid of that. We can be aware of these things, but there is no fear of numbers. You see, these are some of the tricks in the one-eyed farmer's game, you see, because it all starts here in your mind. And what happens is you keep running in circles, just like what the just like the one-eyed farmers like you to do, because it keeps producing for them. It just keeps producing for them. Yeah. By the way, all the robots and things that they make, that's because when all the, things that you think means Jesus is coming back, all these catastrophes take place. Well, they're already ahead of the game. They already forecast, just like the weather forecast. They forecast their word spells. See, word spells. They forecast the word spells. It keeps them in control while you remain in their fishbowl or their pickle jars. Take your choice. Atheist, religious, or so-called skeptic, all of our minds get a little septic. Sometimes it's good to hear Uncle Jesus' point of view. You just might find out you were being fed poo. And another thing, I've said it before. Religious, atheist, trans, or gay. Just do the good things you say, or get the hell out of our way. Remember, nothing left from me and her. But to be sarcastic, I'm watching it break like rotten elastic. But we're still going to be fantastic. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Have a nice